Them.
Them? What them you talking about? Oh, oh. Risque.
You know
It's
they are
crazy.
gonna
That
be
motherfucker ready to
okay.
be eating on every lot.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, we live.
Fuck it. Well, no, it says start recording. Stop streaming. Start recording.
Yeah,
Oh,
he can start recording whenever he want to, but we live. We
oh,
live,
fuck it.
baby.
We'll do it live.
Huh? Yes. Oh, Tony want me to shine with the post in the background. That's all right, bro.
Being in the corner.
All right, but we back. F it, we'll do it live. And I guess we should probably just rename the pre-show F it, we'll do it live instead of saying pre-show. What y'all think?
I agree.
I do.
That's hard.
You get an eye. You know,
Um,
the eyes have it.
how the week been? I'm still hype off of my Friday. Had that my 28-minute juvenile concert courtesy of NPR.
That was
Shout out,
fire.
Tiny Desk.
shout out,
That was
Tiny
fire.
Desk. No, that shit was fire.
That shit was fire.
That shit was fire.
I didn't realize how much. Well, Cash Money 3-6 Mafia were probably like a good little piece of childhood that brings back such nostalgic shit anytime I hear it. So any of them guys that I hear them, I be like, damn, this remind me of this moment.
Well, that was like, I mean, you was a couple years older than me, but that's just where, you was just first stepping outside when that shit was coming. Just ready to get
A
off
lot of
the
that,
porch.
I was in the car in that big blue van with
Astro
Pi
van.
98 running them Jones down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What was it, top 9 and 8 or something?
Yeah.
Top, that shit used to go crazy. All of that shit. So that it was music was fire back then. Also, I was thinking the movies from that era were fire. I don't think you get as good. I think they make so much content now in the movie side too that you don't get classic movies like that, like the Rush Hour. I was watching Any Given Sunday the other night.
That's a classic.
Classic fucking movie. But then you got like All About the Benjamins.
Classic.
Rush Hour,
Hilarious.
like paid it. Like think
What,
about all the
why do you think it
movies.
is? Why do you think it is that the movies just suck now? Like they're not even
The
like
same
comparable.
reason the music sucks. It's too much. It's too many. It's Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and all of them got their own TV shows. So it's so many more people that can be actors now. Versus back in the day, you probably had to be fired to get on that paid in full set.
Do you think also the writing has like changed?
Yeah, more writers. It's everything. But the movies, I was just thinking, I was watching Any Given Sunday, and this shit was shot so well. Terrell Owens was. It's just a fire movie, and the shit don't feel like that. Varsity Blues, it's like a bunch of fire movies back then.
Yeah, no.
That's my little spiel, but
Oh, he was at. How was your week?
oh, my shit was hectic. Work, it was end of the month,
Oh,
so yeah, it was running around, bunch of heat cases I had, just shit. New store, new building,
Oh yeah.
finishing up the new month there. Just shit, it's fucked up, but it's over with now. New month, go from a zero to a hero.
Yeah, shit. My week was pretty good. Starting that new my new job on the outside. I like it a lot.
Oh yeah,
I like it a lot. Family reunion this weekend. Got all my folk in town.
the Flukas.
No, the Collins
Oh,
family
okay.
reunion on my mom's side.
Where they from?
All over. So yeah, well, let's see.
I thought the
Yeah,
Fluka
all
Boys was
over.
in town.
Yeah, I better pull up the Flukas, bro.
They don't even. I don't think we ever.
I'm
Actually,
pulling
nah,
up.
that's the one. That's the one. No, but on my mom's side, they have a good time too. The structure just different. It's a lot different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot more structured, and you know what I mean. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's put together.
It's
like
gonna be in Charlotte. Or?
Oh, it's here. Yeah. They
okay.
here now.
No, that's what's
They
up.
here now. A baby girl over there at the hotel with the aunt in there. You know?
What like they downtown or what's that?
No, they stay in the it's a hotel right there by North Lake.
Oh,
Drury Inn.
yeah.
Drury
Okay,
Inn right
yeah,
there
yeah.
by North Lake. That's what they at.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Yeah, it was pretty. It's
it's a
pretty
nice
small.
little area. I used to
pretty
stay right over there. That's a lot of restaurants, a lot of shit to eat.
And that's pretty much trying to
Yeah.
be right around the shopping and just being around all of that stuff. So yeah.
Tell them stay at that mall though. But Northlake go down in Northlake though.
Bruh.
Outside of that,
I feel like as long as you ain't in there when the kids is in there, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
yeah, them youngins be
That's all it is.
fucking
Young boys just doing young boy stuff.
fucking shit up.
Yeah, for sure.
They took the Apple Store out that motherfucker.
Yeah, they did.
It's crazy.
That's what it is. On which side?
Sheesh, man. You
It
got
is a stain on there. But he got to go all the way with it. That ain't the point.
But shit, man, what we got? We gonna do some reactions or
Yep. I say let's do it.
Let's see who we start off with this time. We'll start off with Newton. Let's see what you got here.
go to that first one? Let's talk about that shit. I forgot about that.
Internet trolling, cause I put Knockout King on my motherfucking shirt. Bitch, he is the Knockout King of the motherfucking hundreds, bitch. Before this motherfucking situation, y'all really dragging this motherfucking case. Y'all really just want to have something to talk about. Y'all really got too much time on y'all motherfucking hands. Y'all really getting on my motherfucking nerves, and we really laughing at y'all. Y'all really making us famous. And thank you for the 10,000 views. Like, y'all that's going crazy. Yeah. I just want to say y'all on this motherfucking internet trolling, cause I put Knockout King on my mother. She is the Knockout King of the motherfucking hundreds, bitch. Before this motherfucking
you know who that
situation,
is,
y'all
bro.
really
That shit
dragging this
funny.
motherfucking case. Y'all really
Hey, you
just
can
want
pause
to.
Okay. That was crazy on a bunch of different levels. So correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm guessing Jeremy Brown is the dude that got killed for hitting that woman inside that spot.
Yeah.
And she's crowning him Knockout King.
Yeah.
And she's also saying that thank you for the clout, the 10,000 views.
Bro died.
Like he died, and you saying his
Bro
life
died.
is worth 10,000 views?
Bro died.
That's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna hold you.
That's
Yeah, that's it's so many things to kind of feed into. I guess I'll toss it to y'all before I.
oh no, I mean I just think it's I don't know, I just think it's kind of sad because like I mean the whole situation, like even old buddy, like bro lost his life over some foolishness. And, you know, even though he kind of deserved it. Like, let's be honest, you hit somebody mama like that, whatever come to you, what come to you. I mean, you can't really judge nobody how they react to something like that. You know, however they, did it. But it's just bad, sad situation. But then because it seemed like trauma. It seemed like they done lost a family member. He probably was, the man of the house or whatever. So I mean.
So can y'all feel me? Because I fill me in a little bit. So the dude, somebody got killed because they hit somebody's mom. The dude Jeremy hit somebody's mom.
Yeah, in
the
a store.
14-year-old boy shot him.
14-year-old.
Oh yeah, I did hear about a little bit about that 14-year-old boy that shot.
Yeah, and then they ended up getting out like for self-defense. Because the video was crazy. Like, I mean, they shouldn't have.
Oh, they got the video of him killing him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't watch the shit no way. But
yeah, I mean, I ain't really. I mean, they ain't showed it like this. It cut off like it.
Yeah, I didn't see like any killing or the hit either.
I saw the hit. Like I saw the video.
Only thing I seen was like he was like, "Well, I tell you, say one more thing," and I say one more thing.
And then he swung on her. But like I saw it. When,
so he hit her because she was talking.
Yeah, that was just like at a
restaurant. It was in like a restaurant.
Yeah, like a pickup.
It was like a closed fist.
It was a strong hit.
That's crazy.
And there was dudes in there that like.
Yeah, where that, bro?
Nothing. But like, my thing is, it's like the video they showed that because they arrested the son at first.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Like, and so the video came out because
to prove that he
needed to be out of. That's the only reason like the video even like went out there.
Gotcha.
It's because like they got arrested at first, then the video went and they let him out. But I mean, even them, it's just like damn.
And Shawty was talking about he was the knockout king.
Apparently, that wasn't the first person he hit.
But he died because of it. Like
yeah, it's just,
like it's like a low bar of ignorance in which, like, I don't know, like that's just the cyclical nature of ignorance in itself, right? You're glorifying the thing that got him killed, and using that as a justification for like whatever. Like it's just such a low bar of ignorance in which, yeah, just got to do better for folks. That's most I can say to it.
That's crazy.
All right, cue up next.
Save that Simba one. I want to do that one, Miss Amy.
I got what they said. Oh, buddy, with it.
Yeah, I say I ain't really add too much this week. I say go to Rail or you.
They say, oh, buddy went in for a Philly cheesesteak and left with wings.
I don't even get that.
Left with wings. You get it?
Well, let me just be clear. I got into Harvard only because of affirmative action. I went to a school no one had ever heard of in Denver, Colorado, in a small suburb. I didn't go to Exeter or Andover. I didn't have college test prep. I just happened to be really nerdy and smart and have really good grades and good SAT scores. Right. But someone came to Denver, Colorado to look for me. A Harvard recruiter flew to Denver, and I met up with her at the Village Inn restaurant and did a pre-interview to get to pull me into Harvard. I was pulled in, and the schools like Harvard and Yale that I got into affirmatively. Yes. And it was literally not saying we're going to take an unqualified person and put them in Harvard. Yes. We're going to take a very qualified person who we would never know existed and put them in Harvard. That's how I got there. That's how Ketanji got there. That's how Justice Jackson, I should say. Justice Jackson got there. It's how Clarence Thomas got there. Right. But the minute I arrived from my majority black little town, Montbello in Denver, to Harvard, the first week or two that I was in class, my presence was questioned by white people. I was in this big conference class where some white students stood up and said, those students, the black students, they're only here because of affirmative action. It became a huge argument that we all ended up having. This was freshman year. I had never had my academic credentials questioned. I had never had anyone question whether I was intelligent until I got to Harvard. And it was a defining point of my experience there. It's why I really was one of the many reasons I was miserable there my freshman year. Yeah. You felt completely out of place and people keep telling you shouldn't be here. And yet, some of the people I went to school with were far less smart than me or the other black folk there. They got in because their daddy and their granddaddy. I went to school with somebody whose name was on one of the buildings. You're going to school with people whose names are on the buildings, who are third and fourth generation legacies.
I got, but here's my thing with the affirmative action thing. I got a couple points. The people who benefited most from affirmative action wasn't even black people.
Yeah, it was white women.
It was white women. So I don't understand why this is. Why they've got black people up there all up in arms.
Voting time.
Exactly. Exactly. Also, the second thing.
Well, I mean, we also have been as a community, we've been led to believe that it was for us.
Yeah, but it's just like anything. They gentrify the movement, and then the systems they put in place, supposedly for us, get taken advantage of by other groups, and they ended up benefiting way more than the systems that are supposed to be put in for black people. So I don't really care that much. Number two, a lot of the motherfuckers who were beneficiaries of affirmative action, what do they do for the black community anyway? Clarence Thomas was he went to Yale because of affirmative action. And then what he go do?
What did he go do?
Well, I mean,
he's just he's just one of the most, I'd say, conservative, or just anti, just he doesn't do anything to help black people.
Well, I mean, at the same time, I mean, at the very minimum, I'd say that if he has a family, he's put his family in a position to take generational wealth and all of this shit to the next level.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about it myself, but I mean, at the end of the day, right?
Clarence had a very
good marriage.
But he just, I don't know, and it's, I don't think he know worse than any of the, no better than any of the Democrats.
The way I looked at the affirmative action,
though, he's bought out. Even right before all of this stuff, he just got a whole bunch of money for a house. He's his wife isn't of,
You go ahead, get your Clarence Thomas smoke off.
Yeah, he got something for him. He had a clip.
His wife don't look like us.
So he married to a white woman.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, so it's just every chance you get where he could come back and throw a bone, he just turned his back.
Oh, he big Uncle Tom.
Big Uncle Tom.
Okay.
And so I think, but that's what you get with a lot of these affirmative action black folks, people that got in these places, they end up.
Well, I mean, you gotta think about it. They're placed in an environment that is predominantly white or non-black. So
Yeah.
I mean, even to Q's previous point in one of the other pods was that we're gonna be with people who are in close proximity to us. So that could be the very reason why. And I'm not giving this nigga an excuse because I don't even know him. You know what I mean? I'm just basing off of what you're saying. I'm not. You know what I mean?
I don't know enough about him.
I'm being fair. We're being fair right now. You know what I mean?
Life ain't fair.
Life,
You know what I mean?
right.
But all right, so I didn't really understand your perspective. So did you give a fuck about affirmative action, or you don't give a fuck about it?
He said he don't.
I don't. I just was mad.
What about you? You gave a fuck about it, or you don't?
No, I give a fuck.
Okay.
I think it's like for me, I can see both sides. Like even in me and Tone had a conversation about it. Initially, the first reaction is to be hot. You know what I mean? First reaction to hear affirmative action, which I didn't know the beneficiaries of the let's say overwhelming beneficiary of it was white women, but it makes sense. The hijacked movement, all that. I get that. I didn't know that part, but initially it was like, oh man, they done, you know what I mean? And where the conservative side comes out first for me, the conservative side. So they just letting, you know what I mean? The initial was, so they just letting people in that don't, you know what I mean? That just didn't have the merit to be there. But then come to find that ain't what it was. You know what I mean? You had to have the merits to be accepted. It was pretty much like what she was saying. You know what I mean? Like an outreach program to find the ones that fit the criteria that we just not able to see. You know what I mean? And so to me, it's like, okay, damn. Well, I don't think at the end of the day, I don't see what good it does for anybody for them to do away with it. What is the you know what I mean? What is the benefit of anybody for them doing away with it?
It's elitism. You know, it keeps the elites elite. You know, they don't have to open those doors, or they don't have to let them people in. It ain't even about like race, because like they got a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah,
but it's about elitism.
Their benefit is what? That they keep the school white,
or they,
school ain't
or
really
they
white.
keep the doors closed. It's gatekeeping.
Well, all right. So, you threw to a part that I hadn't thought about, and I think, one, I don't give a fuck about it. But I think it will be interesting to do a 10-year study now that it's going and see who gets in, because of really the fight against affirmative action wasn't white people. It was Asians and like the Indian demographics.
Gotcha.
Because of they couldn't get into these schools because they overwhelmingly like out test everybody, and just percentage wise, like they would have been the predominant group there just based off of scores and testing and X, Y, and Z. Like, so if they go purely off merit, the look of it ain't gonna be white anyway.
Right.
So that will be the interesting piece to see. If they do kind of just that. My other side to it that I sit and think about is that, all right, well, you said what could happen. I think maybe, possibly, hopefully, we can get better candidates at HBCUs. Some of these like rogue scholars, these high tech, like we can actually start getting these minds into the culture and going through the process of the culture, in which I think that could be a benefit. And then I'll close out by saying, I've never been an advocate for going places that you're not wanted.
Yeah, not for
So
sure.
if, as she said, I'm smarter than y'all niggas, and y'all are saying I'm unqualified, and y'all holding town halls because I'm here, but I done out tested you. Like my high school scores from start to finish is better than you.
Right.
My extracurriculars show that I need to be here. I should be here. But I got to deal with this just to go to class. I don't know. To me, like it draws me back to like a further black conservative point of where did I really care about segregation at the highest level of which I do? Was it a positive or a detriment to us to an extent? And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
But here's my rebuttal, because I don't really care about it neither, and I think, like you said, I think if you take it away, it will lead to like I think us maybe consolidating our talents together more. But my thing is, I can agree with the action, but disagree with the reasonings behind it.
Right.
And so, and that's what some of it's to me where.
And what click? So what was the reasoning that you believe it was because of?
Well, I mean, well, because I think they're saying that African Americans are getting unfair, or that. Well,
So who is they?
Let me
Because it passed.
It was a liberal.
Well, no, let me be clear. Let me be clear. What I'm hearing and the parts that I got mad about were like white conservatives that were that were saying that white people are being discriminated against, and this is a win for white people, that white people will no longer be discriminated. And that's the part where I just disagree with it on just fundamental. And those are the ones.
Oh no, I get it, but I guess are those the people that actually passed the like? I want to give like a fair perspective on it, of why it's being passed, and if I like it or don't. It would have to be based around why the actual legislation said that it's being passed. And I'm pretty sure that they didn't say because of black people are in Harvard too much. There's not even that many black people in Harvard. But that's more or less what I would hear. And
if you're talking about strictly
in a sense of like the discrimination case that I've heard.
The case, yeah, you're right.
It's usually the Asians and the Indians that are like saying that affirmative action actually discriminates against them.
You're right. But
it was a Democrat lady who was the craziest thing is that she was trying to defend affirmative action, but then she was pretty much like she ended up shitting on pretty much saying that black people aren't able to get in off of their merit alone.
And that they need affirmative action.
That they need, that we need affirmative action because we're not
enough.
smart enough to actually get into school off of our own merit. And it was crazy because she actually like started out like trying to, she was on the opposing side of getting rid of it. And then she was a Democrat. Yeah, she was a Democrat. I was like,
and she was like, well, shit, I guess we got to get rid of it.
Literally just called us slow while trying to be on our side at the same time. I wish I could remember her name. I was just trying to look it up.
She was white or black?
She was white.
Yeah. I think that's more or less like the limousine liberal shit, right? Where these are the people that feel like they're doing what's in the best interest for black people because of we can't do, or we're helpless or whatnot. And so like they'll throw a couple dollars just to make themselves feel good.
Better about I find it funny that she just like you're that's crazy, bro. We have to rethink this whole idea of the whole Democrat shit, bro. We have to rethink this.
Oh, listen, all right, so
at mass
we might not get to it this episode.
This is my whole point.
But one of these upcoming episodes, I got a question, and my question will be, what would it take for you to vote Republican? Now, we can shelf that now.
That's one actually that's potable.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying.
Potable.
That's why I said I done stewed on that, but I got a couple of them ones
like
that just sitting there.
like in 2024.
Yeah, with the election coming up.
Yeah.
That's a great conversation.
Audience, what would it take for y'all to go Republican? I ain't been Republican or Democrat. I've been independent.
Yeah, right.
But we'll I think it'll be fun.
I've been coerced into voting Democrat for a little while now. I ain't gonna say coerced. I talk to old head all the time, and then he talked to his mom, my grandma, about it before. She passed recent, but they used to talk about the politics and stuff. And
here's another.
It's just been that Democratic.
Bring old head
it's the
on
same thing, but I swear to
episode.
God, it's like the same thing as everybody. Which again, I'm not saying anything negative towards Christianity, but it's like the default for black people. Like you just say it even though you don't do anything, you don't believe anything, you just say it. It's like the default answer to the question. I'm not saying that that's a bad default. I'm just saying that these things are just passed down to us, and we just go with it. It's like zombie mode.
I got another.
And then
question.
they just
I got another question. What would it take for you to stop voting Democrat? Like what would like. I think is it something they could do? I mean, is they or do they got like an endless leash? They could do whatever.
I think the crazy
So
thing.
we about to get into this right now.
No, I'm just saying that's another question.
To add on to. I was just about to say that.
To add on to it. We ain't got to get into it now. But I think that question. I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
All right, Tone, give us something else.
All right, we're gonna go on like it.
We finna get canceled on my life.
That's why I've always been attracted to girls who look like they beat a nigga's ass for me, like Young M.A. So naturally, when I saw her over there with her Timberland boots on, rubbing her hands together like Birdman. I just knew she was.
It's hard for me to say this cause you look like a man, but I wanna be your man. Stuff.
Oh yeah, this probably going viral.
Let me be your man, little cutie with a fake like Boosie. The way you stack your hands makes me wanna be your man. I'm in love with stuff.
Say again.
Let me be your man. I remember when I saw you, I'm like, who is that? You look so good in your tank top and do-rag. I said, let me holler at you. Girl, I gotta have you. You said, Nick, you gay. I said, how you got a pussy, baby? I know you a stud, but we could be best buds, back some bitches.
That's why I've always been attracted to girls who
So
look like they beat a
I
nigga's
got
ass.
a question
Like young and
that piggybacks over that.
Sheesh.
Has there ever been a stud that you would have dropped off?
No, a stud?
Yeah.
Oh, then you saying that would, like you seen a cute stud before. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that you would have dropped
Oh, yeah,
off.
I've seen cute studs before.
Oh, okay. Just wondering.
Yeah.
A drop off of studs. Nah, it'd be some of them. I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah, go ahead.
You know how high school be like sometimes you'll catch a girl like pre stud.
Yeah.
Like,
Nah,
she
for
be,
sure.
like, right there, like
She trans stud at that moment. She's transitioning.
Hey,
Transitioning into stud.
Like I done seen a couple. Like, yeah, I mean, you know.
It'd be some like there was some girls, specifically a girl at when I was in college, and she would flip flop it. Like she'll put that shit on sometimes, but then she'll like nigga it up sometimes.
In black with Air Force Ones.
Yeah. And she looked alright too though.
they get away with everything, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
They be getting, you could just, hey, yeah, I'm just figuring it out. It's okay. And I like, well, no, never mind. That's crazy that you have the ability to.
Well, I mean, I think that they have more freedom of sexuality and fluidity when it comes down to that shit. With guys, like we have like stark boundaries.
Yeah.
And as men, we care about them, and women care about us crossing it.
Yeah.
With women, we don't really care about their fluidity and boundaries that much. When it comes down to like niggas, like let's be real, niggas will hit a girl that then slept with a girl.
My thing is, niggas will usually hit a girl that's just gonna let you hit.
No, but this my
just
point.
like no, I get what you're saying. I get your point, but I'm just saying.
Women won't be with a nigga that done fucked a nigga.
No,
And that to me, like, therein lies the entire like equation.
No, I get it. But that's also just the fact that dudes will just drop anything that wants to be dropped. You can find, a woman of any stature can find a dude that'll drop.
Yeah.
That's just
the bigger you get, you just got like the guy got to get skinnier.
Yeah.
And like if he like skinny short, he probably dropping off them BBW.
Yeah, and be driving her car and shit.
Yeah. Probably. Nice BBW.
Yeah, my thing is when
Johnny,
it comes down to that,
BBWs?
you can't complain though.
I like a woman with a good personality. That's what's most important.
Hey, Johnny be trying to always wiggle. He love to try to wiggle his way out of some shit. He like keep his option open.
I like a woman with a good
Johnny,
personality.
listen. All you gotta say, as long as she built like a woman. That's my take on it. If she
Hold on,
BBW and
but
built like a woman,
but if she's a woman that's not built like a woman, what is she built like?
she could be refrigerator built. She could be bear built. Like it's a bunch of builds that you can have. Like
I knew he was coming with the bear. I was just going to pull that out.
Yeah, bear built.
Bear built.
Yeah, it'd be a bunch of them different builds. Yeah, they be having like little like chicken like the chicken legs. But then they be having like the defensive end backs and shit like that.
Oh shit!
But then how you got all that weight and you be in like a B cup? It be looking crazy.
Hey, no, that's the worst.
Like
I'm sorry.
Like the little leg,
yeah,
wide back, little
bro. That's crazy.
At least throw the big titties.
Out here looking like Lawrence Thomas.
My bad.
Yeah, that's rough. That's a rough one. That's a rough one.
What else you got for us, Tom?
Let me see. I had threw some joints in there. What's in there? Well, it's just. What I threw in there? That's the one.
Josh Bottas, let's see what this is. They want to tell us all this.
So I remember this one day I feel like I was in DC and this guy hit on me, right? So he came up to me, he was like, "Hey, what's up? You married?" I'm gonna try to talk like a DC guy. Well, no, I'm not, because they sound crazy. No offense to all my DC fam. But he said, "Hey, you married?" And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "You happy?" He said it like that, like it was like a drop the mic. He was like, "You happy?" And I was like, "No." And and the reason why I said no was because, one, I'm brutally honest, and two, I was not happy at the time. But what does me being unhappy have to do with whether or not you have a shot? Here's the thing I realized. A lot of married people don't know how to be unhappily married and still not walk away. If you could learn how to be unhappy for a minute, your marriage will last. Because the goal in marriage is not happiness. The goal is to build a lasting relationship that withstands the ebbs and flows of marriage, of relationships, of people. And so some of y'all need to learn how to be unhappily married and still be content and still stay right where you are. Just because I might not be happy right now does not mean I won't get happy later. Learn how to be unhappily married.
I felt she dropped the goddamn nuts and nugget through that joint.
No, that's bars.
I thought that was supreme bars. I think that because we're in so much of the culture of like, and that's why I was kind of, this was gonna go along with my question for the pod that we ain't gonna really dive into. So I think that I possibly should have saved that.
We'll see. But I guess my quick synopsis on this would be, one, I'm sorry, like if I'm her husband, like why the fuck are you telling niggas that you unhappy?
Nah,
and
that
like,
part for
like,
sure.
That's my thing. That's
Yeah.
the first thing. I'm like,
I
because you
agree.
have that philosophy, don't give you the right to like be outside just announcing your unhappiness.
That's just
to
like that's like
random
the
niggas
bait
that's
for
walking up to
attention.
you.
That's like that attention bait shit.
Like to me, like that's the red herring that I seen is like
For sure.
There's some insatiable piece there because you still holding full conversations with random niggas that's hollering at you, and you giving them like seeds to keep going.
Exactly.
Like you be like, no, what you gonna do about it? Why the fuck would you listen?
No. I agree with that. I agree with that.
I ain't interested in that part.
Cause you really,
My part, yeah. So for me, I overlooked that part just simply because of the rest of it. Because that's the important part. To me.
Gotcha. And my commentary on that is that, yeah, I think that it'd be words and terms that most people are all saying the same thing, in which, like, for like to me, I believe that most people understand that a relationship is ebbs and flows, and it's going to move like this, right? I think the only disagreement that you tend to get inside that conversation, like if anybody gets into a marriage and thinks that like you're always going to be 100% happy, you're going into it, it's not like a fallacy mindset. I think that if we want to find like the disagreement in it, it'll be over sustained unhappiness over a certain amount of time. That's where like you would get into like how long should you be unhappy until like you want to wiggle out. In which we will all probably all agree that it shouldn't be a week, it shouldn't be a month, it shouldn't be like these smaller tenures of time, because of naturally every relationship that you're in is going to have moments where you irritated and you're not like quote unquote happy with that person at that moment, depending on what you define happy as.
And of course, any sensible person should agree with what you just said. But the thing is that I think that we're now in a culture this I'm choosing myself culture. I think that marriage doesn't make sense in a society that is with the I'm choosing myself as the general way that we're gonna move, because that's just not how it works. It's just not how it works. So you're literally be setting yourself up for the failure that is bound to come if that is the way that you think. I think that because and then there was another one. Where's the line between selfishness and between choosing yourself and being selfish? So like I think that is a very important thing to kind of converse about, because that right there is what we're doing. Like literally, if you just look at through social media, all you see is a whole bunch of people talking about choosing themselves and all of the because there's narcissists and because it's so trauma and just so much fucking crying about everything, and then like always like I'm the one that's like people. I think that people are so self-centered, and I mean society has literally we are that. Even as a community, which we aren't the community, we just live and live around each other. But I think that we've gotten to the point to where, yeah, we don't really have a good grasp on what it looks like to have healthy relationships.
Maybe. And I don't necessarily disagree with most things that you said. I think that one thing to think about is those people that are making those statements, are these the people that are inside marriages? Are these the
Never.
habitually single people
Yeah,
that
but
are
I think
making
that
those
I think
commentaries?
generally most of the people, well, probably most of the people who are super entertained within social media and always in it and posting and shit probably are those the same people you're talking
Right,
about. The
right.
single
Because
people
so
that just
when we start getting
habitually
into
single.
like the marriage talk, I think that like most times, like if the separation and shit does happen, it's not you. Well, I'll go back to the point I was gonna make. I would say that I think that those people probably are gonna have a little bit more understanding of the ebbs and flows in comparison to like the people who are the I'm gonna choose myself and they can only like date somebody for a month.
Mm,
Because of like, you know what I mean, like I don't like when niggas do that and that turned me off and I'm done.
mm-hmm.
People that I think that people that's probably reached that level of marriage has a little bit more stick to itness. But I think I think there's the other side to this coin that I
The
think
thing,
is probably going to be really important is that I also don't think that we should lean on unhappy and like that just being okay, because I think that that does lead to a certain level of complacency within a relationship as well, in which like understanding that unhappy will come,
hmm
but we should always be striving to work towards finding a median in it and
for
not
sure.
like existing in unhappy.
You know,
And
and I
that could
think that
be
that's a. Go ahead.
go
Oh no, what I was gonna say is that, and I think that that's a given. Nobody wants to be unhappy. Well, some people will just purposefully
and some
push
people are
these
just
things
talking to be
further
like,
and
all right, this
longer and
just is
longer
what
and
it is,
longer.
and we gonna do this, and we just gonna kind of like struggle through that. Where I think that
Yeah,
like
that's a thing that men
like
do
I
too.
think that that's the part where like we get into like the selflessness, selfish part, and where like over the extended tenure of time, if like y'all are both working on something and y'all can't, then that's when I think that maybe over like course of like years or so, then you might have to like be like tap out button.
Yeah, and I
But
think that for me, when it come down to like, if you were like I think that let's say like in people's marriages where like your kids are grown and gone,
mhm,
at that point you should be choosing your damn self. I believe that.
you should be choosing your
Yeah,
damn
you
self.
should be choosing yourself after like. But I'm saying like when you let's say you get married and then you have children.
So then your marriage ain't about like you and that person ever at all. Then if like
What do you
after the
mean?
kids are gone, you're choosing your damn self.
No. What
Or are
I'm
you talking
saying
about
is,
like
if someone was to make that decision, I could see that where you can be selfish on the
oh
back
okay.
end because you've already done what needs to be done
Yeah,
for
you've
for
been
that.
selfless
Yeah,
for
you've
like
been set
yeah,
for
yeah,
what 18, 20 years. You then
yeah,
I can see where you're going to be choosing yourself in your latter years.
yeah,
Where it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But where generally what I see is that we just give up.
mm-hmm.
In relationship, we don't understand that a relationship is going to be the hardest thing that you've ever had. It's going to just because it's something that is so or marriage. Because if you're talking about from whatever date this is into the rest of your life, that's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. That's harder than doing 20 years in the military. That's harder than that's gonna be the hardest thing that you've ever done. You get married in your 30s and then you talk about for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be the hardest thing you've ever done. So like, there's gonna be a level in which of there's a level of selflessness that it's gonna take just period. And then the man, it's not for the faint hearted. It's not for the faint hearted. And I think that like the understanding that to to almost not let's to not so not go into it blindly as far as how marriage goes, and to understand that of course, and then you've experienced a relationship where you've been unhappy before, but I'm talking about there's a level that once that commitment is there, that's a different type of, you know what I mean? Because it ain't like you just the idea that I have a way out is literally gonna be the reason why you mom. Never mind. I feel like I'm pushing the conversation too, just talking too long about it. But I will say to end that, I think that like we have to understand that this is going to be the decision to be married is supposed to be for the rest of your life. And
Mm-hmm.
if you think that you're going to have You may have more happy years than unhappy years. You know what I mean? Or more happy days than unhappy days. You may. But if you being unhappy, especially when you start talking about kids and shit, if you not being happy for a period of time is worth you giving up the whole thing, it's like, then what the hell was you doing to begin with? Why did you like? If that is even like a way that you think of it, to me, it's like, yeah, I don't know if everybody shouldn't be married. Everybody shouldn't be married.
Right. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I don't know. I think that you kind of said enough. I'll leave it at your statement.
Yeah. But yeah. Anything else on it? I was babbling like a motherfucker.
Let's see what you want.
He has to make enough to make sure that he's good and can provide for himself and, sometimes, cover the date if we go out.
So sometimes cover the date. That means that you would pay for the date sometimes too.
Absolutely, yes. As a woman, I feel like, if you're really about your shit, if you love your man, I feel like there's going to come a time where you need to step up and let that be known. That's the type of woman I am.
I can shake her hand because I like to respond.
Yeah. How much does your man have to make in order for him to be with
Can I
you?
say something?
I feel like
That was the whole thing.
No, we didn't get to hear the beginning.
Good and
So he said, how much does your man have to make in order for him to be with you? That was the question.
And how does she answer it though? I don't know if she.
The date sometimes.
absolutely.
Let's refresh.
Have to make in order for him to be with you.
I feel like he has to make enough to make sure that he's good and can provide for himself and, sometimes, cover the date if we go out.
So sometimes cover the date. That means that you would pay for the date sometimes too.
Okay, we got it.
Absolutely, yes.
What was you gonna say? My bad.
Oh, all right. So yeah, what I was gonna say is that I think that perspective represents the majority of women. To be honest, I think that I'd probably say every woman, maybe I'm trying to think of like what my outlier would be. It's closer to like that exact perspective, where I think even if I go like with Taj, she paid for the third date. I think it was. Paid for it in advance before we even went X, Y, and Z. But like it's been multiple like multiple different relationships where like most women in my experience aren't just out here trying to fleece niggas. What they are looking for is pretty much what she said. Like, do you have your shit together at a space in which like you're good? You can still like, what I mean, take me on a date, do X, Y, and Z. But women that aren't looking to be saved typically also don't mind actually bringing something or doing something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that sounds like adult relationships.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. You know what I mean, to me, that makes sense.
And the crazy part about it, part of the reason I shared that in the comments, a lot of people is like, oh, well, he must be broke, or she like only an ugly woman to do that, or this type. Like they saying a whole bunch of different stuff.
These people that's not living in reality.
Yeah.
I mean, I even hate the like, cause you see like the questions where they ask and like, I mean, this is even a setup like question like.
Yeah, but I think she answered it probably not in the way that they were assuming it was gonna happen. I'm pretty sure she's just speaking from like
she's
the
just being
regular.
honest, but like most
And then
people get up there.
where they probably messed up was that she's cute, so they assumed that because she is cute, her answer was gonna be something as we would see on what's your boys pot them Fresh and Fit. They thought that was gonna be the result of the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nah, you know what I mean? Shit.
My homeboy, or our homeboy actually, Jeffrey Hayden. He had a meme that encompassed this a little bit, and it said, "Spending money on men only sound bad to women who don't got no money." And I kind of agree. Like typically, any gainfully employed woman that is not trying to be saved, they like even if they ain't like paying for date, like they gonna get you something when they go out.
Mm-hmm.
They ride by some little spot. They like, what you want something? Like
They saw that shirt just reminded them of something you like.
That's the thing about messing with like a grown like that. Like that was the best thing about the older you get messing with women. It's like they eventually start getting good jobs and they start You know, having a little more coins than in college, and then you go, oh shit, you okay?
Yeah.
But that's natural though. I mean, it's part of a partnership, part of being a team. Like it's just that's how it's supposed. Like I don't even know why it's a big deal that she said the right answer. Like it shouldn't be that big of a deal that she
Because the
said.
right answer don't really be on the internet. Like
Exactly. Social media is definitely not
Yeah.
providing the right answer.
I get that, but it's just annoying that like somebody can be like 2 + 2 is 4. They be like, oh shit, oh shit.
And,
that nigga must have had a
She was a
calculator.
genius. Like that's just the part to get on my nerves.
Yeah.
Like if she said 2 + 2 is 4, them motherfuckers was like, I'm gonna shake your hand. It's just all right.
You're all right. So fellas, I think this has been a fun live pre-show.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. I'm trying not to curse as much, but whatever. They come out.
They let it be monetized now, so
they come out sometimes.
I'm
talking about in life.
Oh,
I ain't doing it for the algorithm, bro.
So what's your reasoning then?
Yeah,
I don't think I'm really trying to. I'm over here saying shit. Yeah.
Hey, now you just saying words.
Yeah, I'm saying words, bro. I was just saying words. Nah, I had to think through it. I think that I'm thinking about like YouTube titling it, and I know like I'm gonna have to put like F, like star point CK or something like that. And then YouTube, maybe it's like the first 20 seconds or something like that. They don't like for you to curse or something, but that's algorithm shit. Talking about the shit I was fucking with Johnny with.
All right.
All right, well, shit. This is the live show. It's Q.
It's your boy Johnny P.
Over here, real.
And we out. Oh, hold on. Before we click off, fire episode coming. This episode 2. We should have a special guest. Stay tuned. Be able to see it. Yeah. Like we starting off season 2 with season 3 with some hitters.
If you know, you know.
Right.
Special guest.